Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the next project for me. So this is a car that I've had for a little while now, and basically what we're going to do on this video, I'm going to show you a few days after me picking up the car or having the car dropped off and discovering what issues it actually had, because this is another gamble for me, another Copart car, and it was another private sale through Copart as well, so it was never going to be smooth sailing from the beginning. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. Hello and welcome back, and now we've got another car that I've actually got after having the heartache of the Jag and all the issues I had with the engine issues with the Jag. Managed to pick up another vehicle, very different car now.
An SL400, which is the twin turbocharged 3 litre V6 variant.
As you can see, there's not a great deal wrong with it. There's no accident damage for me to fix. It has had accident damage on it, but that was a Cat N back in 2023. So the only issue I have found so far is a gearbox issue on it. So what my plan is today is basically to look at getting underneath the car, stripping the sump off the gearbox. Then with that, what I'll do is I'll pull out the conductor plate and the TCU that's inside the gearbox. And apparently that is the common fault that you have with these gearboxes, these 7G Tronic gearboxes. And what happens is you get rough gear changes, and then sometimes as well when it's heated up you can't even go into certain gears. So what I'm finding on this one is when it's trying to go into reverse gear, once it's hot it won't go into that, it won't engage into reverse gear. You have to really sort of rev it. It then engages as soon as you take your foot off the accelerator, it pulls out a gear again, disengages. So I'm pretty certain that that is what is wrong with this one. Managed to get hold of a few companies, and one in particular that I'm going to try and drop this off at today. And yeah, I'll just let the camera roll and go through how I'm going to do this.
So just before I start, guys, this is not a how-to video, but hopefully it will give you a good idea of what it takes to actually get this job done if you did want to try it yourself. I will link in the description below a few YouTube videos that I use to get some information on this and how to do it. They're by professional mechanics, so they're definitely where I'd send you if you wanted to go through it and make sure you're doing everything in the correct manner. But yeah, other than that, I'll jump straight into it.
Right, so we're now under the car, and what we're going to have to do, I believe, is take this off, this cover initially, and then that should allow us to then take this cover off here. Once that cover is off, we should then gain access, so you can't really see it there, but to the sump on the gearbox, and that's essentially what we want to be doing, draining that and then going from there. Right, so we've now got access to where we need to be. So essentially what it was we had, where are we, 30 millis. As you can see, what I've done, a bit of a tip, is just whacked all the bolts back in where they came out of. I'm going to keep them there, but I'm going to keep the trays off. Just bear in mind this tray is quite heavy, it's surprising really. There's quite a bit of framework on there that is also attached to add some weight to it. So yeah, just bear that in mind, especially if you're like me doing something like this on your driveway. And then the actual tray we needed off then, that give us access to, was this one here, which there is various, I lost count of how many there were, but basically little 8 milli bolts, as you can see there, in various areas, dotted around, maybe a dozen of those. And then this is the sump that we need to get to. So what it's going to be, I think, is we're going to have to take this brace off, which is, I believe, a bolt this side and a bolt this side, so it's not the best in terms of being able to see that. And then you've got the sump plug, if you like, here. I'll release that, get the oil out, and then we'll go around with these torques and we'll take the bottom of that off, and that should give us access to the conductor plate then, which is what we actually need to take out and get repaired. As you can see on this one, so it's looking nice and clean to be out there, and obviously doing this as well shows us that it's a blue oil type, So I believe there are different colours for these gearboxes, so that's one thing that you'll also need to be aware of when you get your service kit, because obviously with doing this procedure and getting the conductor plate out, you will have to change all your oil as well and service your actual gearbox. But highly recommend you do that anyway, every sort of 5 years or 50,000 miles. This one, I'd imagine, has probably never been done. This only got 31,000 miles on the clock, this car, and yeah, although it's been really well looked after, I highly doubt that this gearbox would have been serviced in that time. Could be wrong though, because that was very clean oil. There is actually another tool, I've not got it unfortunately, that allows you then to go into there and just release the oil a bit better from this gearbox. I'm gonna have to just hope for the best. That's obviously not allowed that much oil to get out, so I'm probably going to make a bit of a mess, but I will try my best to obviously capture everything, make sure none of this goes on the floor. Right, so that's the sump off. What I've actually had to do is just cut that brace. You couldn't actually access the bolts, or I couldn't find how you could access the bolts, so I've cut that, twisted it round, and then I'll get it back on, and I'll work out how to reconnect that there at a later date. But essentially, oil looks really good, to be fair, in this, so it may well have been changed already in terms of the oil. It's looking really nice and clean in there. But next stage is for me to essentially take this, try and keep a little bit of light on there for you, and this filter should just pop off. This will be replaced for a brand new filter when we get the kit. Oh, and there we go, that wasn't meant to happen that way, but there we go. So that then gives us the bottom of the transmission, and it's this that we need to take off to then get to the conductor plate. So once I've got this off, I'll then show you the next stage. Right, so we're now off with what we actually needed. One issue I have had myself is this connection here. It's really hard to get the actual unit itself off with that. Now there is also a termination here, so it may well be that you need to access that, remove that, and then get to that. I'll confirm that later on, but that's an issue I've had. I'll show you the board in a minute, and it does look like that should have come off with the actual board itself to me. But other than that, it came out okay. I managed to catch most of the oil, so get that sent off, get it back repaired, find out what I need to do with this, and then we'll go from there, fit everything back up, and hopefully we'll have a fully working, fully operational gearbox. What I'm going to do while it's off is I'm going to put the sump back on, just to make sure no water, no debris obviously gets into this, because it's going to be probably a few days before I get that back. So I'll get to it now with that, and I'll also show you the actual board when it's come out of the car. Right, so that's the sump back on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tape up this connector just to make sure it's weatherproof or it's not connected in, and basically this is all sealed up. I've done it just tight enough for the gasket to seat properly, and hopefully that'll keep it all nice and clean and stop any weather from getting into the gearbox while I've got that conductor tray out. Okay, so that's me done for today. Got the part out that I needed to. Don't think I'm going to manage to actually get it dropped off now with the time. It took me a little bit longer than I expected. Probably about 4 hour job, to be honest, because I didn't know what I was doing really. But it can definitely be done quicker if you know what you're doing, or if you've ever done a transmission service yourself before. So hopefully this will have helped a few people. But yeah, essentially the car's going to be left on the axle stands now. I'll leave it as that until I get this part back. Hopefully they can recon it for me. I'll fit it back in, and hopefully that'll cure my issues I've had with the gearbox.
So thank you very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe to the channel. It really help us out. Just showing up some of the actual issues I had with the TCU components up here. And as I said before, if you do want to get some more insight onto how to do this job from a professional, please have a look at the links below and I'll send you to the correct videos or the videos that I utilised to do this job. Other than that, I'll get back to uploading a video next week with receipt of the conductor plate and how I got on. Thank you for watching. See you next time.